Lula vows to punish Brazilian Congress invaders.
Here's a summary of the article.
Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has vowed to punish supporters of the country's ex-leader, Jair Bolsonaro, after they stormed Congress. Mr. da Silva, better known as Lula, said there was no precedent in the history of our country for the scenes seen in Brasilia and called the violence the acts of vandals and fascists. Mr. Bolsonaro's supporters are calling for military intervention and the resignation of Lula. The populist leader has previously defended the country's brutal military dictatorship that governed the country for over 20 years. Chilean President Gabriel Boric said Brazil had his country's full support in the face of this cowardly and vile attack on democracy. Colombian President Gustavo Petro said fascism had decided to stage a coup, while Mexican Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard said Mexico expressed full support for President Lula's administration, elected by popular will. Lula is currently on an official trip in São Paulo state.
This post received a score of 20,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Wonder why Bolsonaro is in Florida lol.
Kinda like how Mussolini was in Switzerland when the March on Rome happened.
Not just him. The National Congress and Supreme Court are in accord. All of them stated they want the heads of everyone involved.
So, Bannon.
Unfortunately, if Bannon was here and arrested, it would still be difficult to deal with IHM since the little shit is a foreigner and Brazil's government tend to respect foreign citizenship matters to encourage other countries to respect ours. But yes, if he were Brazilian he would be on the run, like Alan dos Santos, a Brazilian sort of Alex Jones.
Greater than Brazil's government tend to respect foreign citizenship matters to encourage other countries to respect ours. Yay, but when coup, all bets are off. Bannon should be extradited to Brazil. Someone pull up the treaty to see if non-citizens can be extradited.
Goddamn. Can't Bannon be tried in America for crimes committed in America? There shouldn't be any need to extradite.
You guys can't even arrest the guy who stole and sold nuclear secrets.
Bannon and Miller.
Greater than Bannon and Miller. Bannon has his tentacles all over the globe with Bolsonaro, Nigel, Orban, Maloney, etc. The U.S. response to Bannon and Trumpism has been horrid. We've let it fester and infect countries worldwide because Bannon and Trump are never imprisoned for their crimes. Lula had an excellent statement today about the Brazilian Capitol storming, calling the participants fascists and terrorists. That is the proper attitude to have.
The guy who threw a beer at Cruz was arrested and got in all sorts of legal trouble. Those who orchestrated January 6 and who were storing a trove of classified nuclear documents illegally get to skate by with no consequences. That sums up the justice system in this country. I don't even need to bring up the people caught with a bag of weed. Basically, the U.S. justice system is the best that money can buy.
Well said. And this injustice has consequences. Trump, Bannon, Flynn, Lindell, and the rest have severely harmed democracy worldwide in the 2 years they've been free since January 6. History will look back on the U.S. very negatively for our inability to hold our fascist movement to account. While we ruin millions of minority lives by throwing them in prison for non-violent crimes.
Greater than history will look back on the U.S. very negatively for our inability to hold our fascist movement to account. This assumes the fascists won't eventually win and get to write the history book.
Over my dead fucking body.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.